Today we are going to talk about something which is very interesting. I'm excited to talk about it. So, I'm talking to the men. Have you seen men tend to have bigger bellies when they grow older? Everyone, you're welcome to the Dietary Factor, a show that brings to you information about health and lifestyle. So be ready to learn and change your lifestyle and live better. My name is Mary. If you are new here, kindly like and subscribe. Be ready to learn here and there. Male belly fat. So you could be asking yourself, why aren't I talking about women when it comes to belly fat? Yes, I know both men and women have a challenge with belly fat, but today I'm going to specifically talk about the male. Maybe next time we shall talk about the female. So belly fat in itself could be okay, but it's the more dangerous fat. Why? Because when you have belly fat, you're not only having fat. You know, the layer just beneath the stomach has fat which is called subcutaneous fat. So you do not only have subcutaneous fat when you have belly fat, but you also have visceral fat. So visceral fat is the fat that is around your organs or in your abdomen. That's what's the visceral fat. So when you're having a high male belly fat, you're having also high visceral fat. In other words, you are prone to quite a number of diseases. Remember, your fat is coating around organs inside your belly. So at the end of the day, you'll be at risk of quite a number of health issues and complications. That is why we are talking about the male belly fat today. What causes male belly fat? There are quite a number of reasons. And I'll start with the number one reason. Is alcohol. Did you know that drinking alcohol in itself is not really the challenge, but drinking a lot of alcohol can cause one to have belly fat. And when there is a difference between an alcohol belly and a belly that has grown because of some other reason. So an alcohol belly is extremely rounded. Have you seen a man with a very round, it's like a semicircle on their stomach? It's just like a semicircle. From here, it just goes once like a semicircle. So every time you find a gentleman with a semicircle, sorry, please do not look around with men with semicircles and you're like, that's a beer belly. No, but let's just identify. So a beer belly is usually a round semicircle. And other bellies could be caused by other issues. But alcohol is a cause of belly fat. I know compared to women, men love to go and hang around with their friends and have a beer or two. Alcohol in itself is not the issue, but drinking excess alcohol is what causes men to have belly fat. So what do we do? In case you are to drink alcohol, please ensure to take it in moderation, because excess alcohol will cause you to have a male belly. And why is it that alcohol causes someone to have a belly fat, the male? It is because alcohol contains high calories. The fact that it has high calories, you can easily get fat, belly fat. Why? Because you're taking in more calories than you need. And every time you take in more calories than you need, they will be converted into belly fat, most especially for the men. So the fat will usually concentrate around the belly when they take in alcohol. So one other thing you can do, instead of taking alcohol in moderation, you can ensure you look for brands that have low calories. For example, in Uganda here, there is a brand called White Cup Crisp. White Cup Crisp has low calories when it comes to beer. So those low caloric beer, you can be able to take more than 2 bottles. But if you're not taking a low calorie beer, you should ensure you take in moderation. So we've seen alcohol can be a cause of male belly fat, Another thing, number 2, is aging and hormones. Unlike any other human being, male, when they age, their hormones change. Yes, also women, our hormones do change, but let's talk about the male this time. So for the male, every time they are clocking 40 and above, they are prone to having more belly fat compared to the younger ones. Why? It is because when male age, the hormones, testosterone and progesterone, lower in a male. And then a male will start having more of estrogen. So when a male clocks 40 and the testosterone and progesterone is lowered, they are at a high risk of having more belly fat. Why? It is because testosterone always enables a man to keep on their stature, and also it ensures the transportation of fat from the belly to other sections of the body. But when a man has low testosterone, meaning every time they consume and they consume more food, that food will be converted into fat, and every time it's converted into fat, that fat will just remain in the belly area because testosterone is not moving it to other body parts. So every time a man ages, they are at risk of having a huge belly. So every time you clock 40 and above. So another hormone that is impacted is the human growth hormone, usually known as HGH. So the human growth hormone, what happens is when a man clocks 40, the human growth hormone starts to decline. And every time the human growth hormone declines, that means there will be also decline in muscle mass. So there will be decline in the muscle mass, decline in the muscle tissues. So literally when men clock 40 and above and they do not work out, their muscles start to decline. That's why it's very important for men to always exercise, more so even when they are clocking 40. Why? Because at that time their muscles are starting to diminish. Why? Because the human growth hormone is decreased greatly. So when the human growth hormone decreases greatly, we've already seen that the muscles will decrease. And one thing you should know, that any human being who has more muscle is usually a consumer of energy. So people who have more muscle, actually, when they eat, their food is consumed by the body because their muscles consume the energy. But now, when someone is more lean and they do not have more muscle, when a person has less muscle and they are less lean, what will happen is that they tend to not consume the energy. So what happens when you do not consume energy? Energy is usually converted into fat. Every time you have excess energy, it's converted into fat. So that's why when a man has more muscle, the muscle will use up the energy. So, but remember, we've already said when a man is clocking 40, their muscle mass is diminishing, meaning there will be less energy. That is more so if a man does not work out. Because when a man works out, now that will help with the muscle buildup. Remember, you're not losing muscle, right? Yeah. So now, the question will be, what should a gentleman do? The fact that age is not just a number when it comes to male, age is not just a number, age comes with quite a number of things, and one of those is increasing the belly fat. What should a man do? One, there are quite a number of things they could do. One, they should increase on their protein intake. Why? Because protein helps with building of muscle. So when you include protein in your diet, you are helping yourself. So protein-rich foods, we look at things like milk and milk sources. We look at things like meat. But in case you are a vegan, there are nuts. Nuts are a very good source of protein. So including protein in your diet will enable in the formation of more muscle. Because as we used to sing it back then as we were younger, proteins are bodybuilding foods. They will help in building your muscle. They'll help in building your body. Now, another thing that you could do is exercise. Gentlemen, you're encouraged to work out. Work out, work out, work out. Even if you're clocking 40, and so it's very important for a man to work out because you are strengthening your muscle. You're not enabling your muscle to diminish. So when you work out, though, this is a disclaimer. It's very important to have short, intense exercise instead of having longer, exercise. Why? It is because when you have short exercise, when you have longer exercise per se, you increase on the hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. And usually this stress hormone usually comes about with increased belly fat or increase in fat production. So it's important to have shorter exercises, more intense but short, instead of having very lengthy exercises. Because you will be wondering, why am I exercising but I'm not losing belly fat? It's because there are really long exercises, and at the end of the day, you're producing more cortisol. So it's important to have the right exercise. It's important to work on your meals. So those will enable you to have the right belly fat. So as you age, or start now, actually, if you're a young male, start now, start with exercise. So by the time you are getting to 30, 40, it's part of your routine and it's easy for you to go by with. In case you haven't started adding protein into your diet, add protein into your diet to help you build muscle. We are heading to the workout as men. We're heading to gyms as men because we are building our muscle. Thank you for staying tuned today. I hope you have enjoyed this. Ensure you like, ensure you subscribe, and always get feedback from you in your comment section. Thank you so much, and I am Mary. Bye-bye. See you next time.